Good morning and welcome to Little by Little, a short time in God's Word. Today, February 5th, and we are in the book of Exodus, where we will be for the next little while. And obviously, the story of Exodus and the book of Exodus is centered around God leading the people of Israel out of exiting Egypt, right? And in and through that, then we see God's faithfulness and their lack of trust. No, not always. There's points in time where they're right on board and they're doing great, and then there's other times where they seemingly forget God, as if He's done nothing for them lately. It's an easy thing to fall into, even in our lives today, where everything is here and right now, and so if God doesn't respond in the moment, we perhaps can be quick to go, "Hey God, where are you? Why won't you?" And we throw aside past faithfulness. And what it should do in and for our lives, and as we read through Exodus, it should do it in our lives, is read about God's faithfulness, which should demand present trust and future hope. Future hope? Yeah. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to trust Him today because I'm hoping for what's to come. He's in control. So, chapter 13, there's a couple of different things that we could talk about here. Setting apart the firstborn and redeeming him. They didn't sacrifice him. That's important to note. And the way that God led them was very dramatic. See verse 17. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, though that was near. You can put in brackets, that was easier. For God said, lest the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. God led the people around by the way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea, and the people of Israel went up out of the land of Egypt, equipped for battle. Took the bones of Joseph, because that's what they said. And verse 21, the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and by night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart from before the people. So they've got a GPS going on, a God positioning satellite right in their midst, right? God's leading them by the pillar of cloud during the day and the pillar of fire at night, which also would keep them warm as the desert cools. They've got it made. Now, until you get to chapter 14, and they get to the Red Sea and they're kind of blocked in and panic sets in. Because God hardened the heart of Pharaoh to go after them so He can put an end to that Pharaoh's life. And so verse 10, when Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they feared greatly. When the people of Israel cried out to the Lord, they said to Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us in bringing us up out of Egypt? Leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. And Moses said to the people, fear not. Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which He will work for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you only have to be silent. Stand firm. It's reminiscent, if we think it from a New Testament point of view, to the teaching of Paul. And he talks about spiritual warfare and standing firm. Ephesians chapter 6. Put on the whole armor of God, verse 11, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, the authorities, cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand it in the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm. Moses was trying to direct their hearts to trust God. There's a spiritual battle. It looks like it's a physical battle, especially here, but it was a spiritual battle. And so God's going to part the Red Sea. They're going to cross, and the Egyptian army will be drowned in the Red Sea. But the key, do not fear. Stand firm. Believe and trust God. And I think that's still true today. Because the enemy's still prowling around like a lion, looking who he may devour, Peter tells us. And so what are we supposed to do? Put on the whole armor of God, and then having done all we can, then stand firm. Not in our strength or in our power, but in the power of the Lord. Until next time, keep growing.